Hello and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the American Tier 2 medium tank, the T2 medium tank. So is it any good? It's alright. It's certainly not a bad tank, not a great tank either, but it's okay. So what can we discuss about it? Well, there's only 3 tanks, medium tanks at Tier 2. Most of the tanks at Tier 2 are light tanks and there's a few TDs. So I will compare it to the light tanks as well to give you a more rounded view of it. It has 170 hit points, which is the lowest of the mediums. The other 2 mediums both have 190 hit points. And even compared to a light tank, that would only be an average amount of hit points for a light tank. Weight-wise, it comes in at about 12.2 tons, which is in the middle ground for a medium tank, and is heavier than most of the light tanks except for the British cruisers. So don't ram the British cruisers, but any other light tanks feel free to ram. Or you can ram the Cheney, which is the medium, but don't ram the British Vickers Mark II because you'll end up worse off. Speed-wise, it's very, very good. It does 40 kilometers an hour in forward and 17 in reverse. Now, the Vickers II also does 40 kilometers an hour in forward, and the Cheney does 30. But the Vickers II takes a while to get there. This thing, though, accelerates like a rocket. Its takeoff speed is very, very good. It goes very well up hills as well. And over rough terrain, it just doesn't slow down. It just keeps doing 40. It's very, very powerful tank. Now, that said, as well as that, as on top of that, it also does 17 kilometers an hour in reverse. Now, the other medium tanks only do 12 kilometers an hour in reverse. That means this tank is has the ability to pop out, take a shot, and pop back really well. And in fact, it just so happens the gun is suited to that as well. So that's what this tank is good at. It's good at popping out, taking a shot, and popping back. And I'll go into that a little bit more a bit later. But the speed is, yeah, so it is the equal fastest of the Tier 2 mediums, but it's also on the upper side average for a light tank as well. So it's pretty quick. Now, the track traverse on this tank is 40 degrees, which is very, very good. The Vickers only has 28. The Cheney has 38, which is pretty close. But that's even for a light tank, that would be on the upper side of average. So the track traverse is very good. As well as that, it also has a really good turret traverse of 37 degrees. Now that's better than the Vickers at 33 and the Cheney at 30. Very good. So when you combine good track traverse and good turret traverse and good speed, this tank is good at outflanking other tanks and popping out and taking shots. Now that turret traverse is even on the upper side of average for a light tank. So you can see that, yeah, it's kind of really more like a big light tank. View range of 320 is better than the other 2. They both come in at 300. And the signal range of 615 is the best out of any medium or light tank. It has a very, very good signal range. Now the camouflage on this tank, well, it's not great, but it is a medium tank. It's slightly better than the British Vickers, although it's substantially worse than the Cheney, and well, it's worse than any light tank. So that the camouflage isn't good. The problem with that is if you're out in the open, even though you have better view range than most other tanks, they will still see you before you see them, simply because your camouflage is so poor. So do not drive this tank out in the open. Even though you have better view range than most, they will still see you first. So just don't do it. The gun depression on this tank is all right. It's minus 8 degrees and has a elevation of 20. Elevation of 20 is fine. 8 degrees at this tier isn't that great. There's a lot of light tanks with much, much better gun depression. Also, the Cheney, the other medium, has 15 degrees of gun depression. That said though, the British Vickers only has 5 degrees of gun depression, so you're much better off than that. And it is serviceable. Now, let's have a quick look at the grind for this tank. Alright, so I've just put the guns up there. One thing I did want to mention, I forgot before, the track upgrade is necessary. It takes it from 38 to 40. Even though it does have very good track traverse and the tank is pretty quick, it actually turns really, really badly. It's a really big, wide arc. So tank is not maneuverable up close, and some other, especially tier 3 light tanks that can turn really well, can actually drive around you and irritate you a lot. So it doesn't turn very well, that, just so you know that. Now I've got the guns up. Basically it has a big selection of guns. This is the first one that you get, which is the first 3 guns here are all auto loaders. This one has 5 shells in the magazine and it has a pen of 33, damage of 30. .51 accuracy isn't great. Aiming time 1.7 though is very good. Then you can go to the 37mm Browning semi-automatic when you unlock that, and this one also has 5 shells in the magazine. Same thing, half a second between shots. Same reloading time, 5.7, but it has 39 penetration, 30 damage, and better accuracy of .47. So it's basically better than the 37, this M1924 in every respect. There is nothing that's better about the earlier gun. So let's get rid of that and take that out of the equation. Then we have the Hispano gun. This one has 15 shells in the magazine, so 3 times as many shells, and only takes 0.1 second between each shot, so firing 10 shots a second. Also, the magazine takes long to reload though, at 7.3 seconds. Doesn't have as much pen, only has 30 pen and 12 damage per round. So if you hit with all of those rounds, that's what, 120 and another 6, 180 damage in the magazine. Whereas this one we have 5 3s, 150 damage in the magazine. So you'll get more out of your magazine with the smaller one, but it does have less pen, which could be an issue. It also has less accuracy at 0.5 versus 0.47, but they both have a great aiming time of 1.7. So if you really like the auto cannons, pluses and minuses for both of them. You know, this one's definitely got more pen, more damage per shot, but this guy here fires a lot of shots very fast. So just a toss up, and does more damage per clip. So you know, it's up to you which one of those you want to use, if you want to use them. The other option is, of course, to load them with premium ammunition. If you load this one with premium ammunition, you're getting 63 pen, which is huge. You can even use HE, although I'd never tried it. And this one, if you use premium ammo, you'll get 41 pen, which is not that much of an upgrade. But anyway, some people love to use premium ammunition at tier 2, so you can consider those guns for that. I stuck with this gun though, because I really like to have enough penetration, especially when I'm being faced by T18s and those sort of tanks. This one has 48 penetration and does 40 damage per shot. Now, compared to the top guns on the other tanks, other medium tanks, it's pretty low damage. Like, I think the Vickers does about 70 per shot, and I think even the Cheney does around 70 per shot as well, although Cheney has very poor penetration at around about 32, I think. But I think the Vickers has about 50 something penetration, so not the best gun out there, but it's still pretty good, and it will penetrate most, well, pretty much all tier 2s, although it still has trouble with the T18s and sometimes, and most tier 3s it will penetrate as well. It does keep its penetration pretty well over range as well, this gun. But yeah, the other mediums probably pack more of a punch, and you can actually, yeah, especially if you use premium ammo on the other ones, they are a fair bit better. This one you can use premium ammunition if you want to, and get your penetration way up to 70. So I suppose you could just load premium every time you face a T18 if you wanted to. But the 40 damage per shot is a bit low. 0.46 accuracy is not bad at this tier, and the 1.7 aiming time is fantastic. So the way I played it with this gun was basically, I worked out the best way to do it is to pop out, have a shot, and pop back, because you've got a great aiming time and a tank that moves forward and reverse quite quickly. So by popping out, taking a shot, popping back, using your quick aiming time, pop back before they've finished aiming, get your shot in, and often they will not hit you, or they'll miss or whatever because you're moving. So it does work well, that tactic in this tank. You don't have very good armor, so you can't stay out in front of people, you'll get smashed, and you also don't have good camouflage. So rather than playing this like a tough medium, play it like a, I think anyway, play it like a light tank with very poor camouflage. So you need hard cover and pop out, shoot, pop back, that sort of tactic, and it does pretty well like that. Okay, that's pretty much all there is to say about this tank. During the gameplay, my crew isn't very well trained. They're currently at 79%, so they'll be between 75 and 79% in the gameplay. I have a camouflage net, binoculars, and toolkit fitted, as well as small repair kit, large repair kit, large first aid kit fitted to the tank. Yeah, let's get into Tank Inspector, have a quick look there, and get into some gameplay. So we'll just have a quick look at the armor in Tank Inspector. It's only tier 2, so it's not a lot to say about the armor. As you can see here, the lower plate and the upper driver's area of the tank is 22mm thick. which is not bad at tier 2. The turret is 25 mils, so it's actually a bit thicker. The turret's bouncier. The mantlet is also 25 millimeters. These green areas here on the side, these boxes that hang right out, are only 6 millimeters. I'm not 100% sure though whether it counts as a hit zone if you hit that box. I'm not sure. On the side of the tank, it is also 22 millimeters, and the rear of the tank is also 22 millimeters. The turret is 25 millimeters all the way around, and the top deck of the tank and the top of the turret are only 6 millimeters. So anything hitting on top, including artillery, which does exist at tier 2, will do a fair bit of damage to you. But it's actually quite well armoured for a tier 2 medium. The Vickers British medium has terrible armour, about 8 mils all round, and the Chini, the Japanese version, is similarly armoured at the front but has virtually nothing on the sides and the rear. So even Panzer 1Cs, those sort of tanks that don't have very powerful guns, will have trouble penetrating you. Even if they're circling you, they will have trouble. So that's good, but you can't rely on bouncing shots in this tank. So like I said, found out that you could peekaboo with a quick aim time, peekaboo, aim quickly, take a shot, and pop back behind cover again. Seems to be the way to go with this tank.
Let's go.
The map is ReginaldESQ. We're in now T2 American medium tank. I think I've got the stock engine in this stage, but as you can see, it still accelerates very well. I'm just going to take up a position in this bush and try and snipe from here initially, trying to use my good view range and using a tree because I've got terrible camouflage. So this game I have the 37mm Browning, which is the auto cannon. It has 5 rounds loaded in the magazine, and it does 39 penetration for 30 damage per shot. Just blowing away some cover here, anything that's going to interfere with my shots. I might just speed this up to 2 times while we're waiting. Okay, there's a tank. We've got a Panzer II. Now the Panzer II has pretty good armor on the front, so it bounced that shot, and that bounced too. That one also bounces.
That one bounced. That one bounced.
He turns a bit side on to protect himself from the other tank, but it's exposing to us. We get one in the turret, which I managed to get a shot in. So the Panzer II, the frontal armour varies from around about 20 mils right up to 55 mils around the driver's compartment and stuff. So our gun has 39 mils, so we had a bit of trouble finding a spot we could hit. So that is a bit of a limitation of this Browning 37mm. It does lack a bit of pen. So Panzer Jag Tiger 1 was... there he is. So we hit him in the side of the turret, but it bounced. Now that's a bit surprising. He's only got, that's only about 15 mils of armour on the turret of the Panzer Jag Tiger 1. So even with our 39 mils of pen, we couldn't pen the Jag Tiger 15 mils there. Might have been a bit of bad luck. I don't know where that shot went. That one hit something else, a dead tank or something. Okay, I might just speed this up again a little bit. We're losing horribly. Oh, here we go. T-26 penetrated on the side, no problem. I'll speed it up again. We're getting slaughtered. So I'm just waiting for death basically, but just testing out the gun. And it looks like a T-18 is about to come around the corner, so I slow it down again. Aiming for the front upper plate, which is the sweet spot. We get one in, another one in, and we manage to actually kill it, and it misses us, thankfully. So I'm just reloading the magazine now. My crew skills are pretty low, so the magazine's taking a while. We're penetrating the front of this Panzer 38T fairly well. I was waiting for a reload there and he rammed me. But I think we got most of the shots. I think 4 or 5 of those shots penetrated, so it wasn't too bad. I'll stop the game there. Okay, so it was enough for a class 3 badge. We hit a few tanks. Not the right way to play that tank though, really need to be behind hard cover, I've discovered after playing a few games in it. Next screen you can see that we finished on top on our team for XP and on top for damage as well, so our team did pretty bad because we didn't do very good. We fired 26 rounds, 15 of which hit, so it's not particularly accurate, although we did waste a few shots blowing away cover. 9 of those 15 shots actually penetrated, doing 254 damage. We received 4 hits, all of which penetrated. We damaged 4, destroyed 2. So not too bad. There were a few things going. As you can see, ammunition is very cheap, so the tank is fairly profitable at least. Next game.
Let's go.
So the map is Karelia. We're in our T2 American medium tank. And it's a tier 3 game, although there's only 3 tier 3s on each team. So making my way round to the right flank, or the far end of this side of the map. As you can see, the tank moves along quite well. Now in this game I have the 37mm M5 gun fitted, which is the top gun with this tank. I have got the upgraded engine, I'm pretty sure as well, so it's fully upgraded. So this gun has 48mm of penetration and does 40 damage per shot, but it's not an auto loader, although it does have a very good rate of fire of around, I think it's just over 28 rounds per minute, which is very good, very good. If you wanted to use premium ammunition, you could get 70mm of penetration, which would enable you to penetrate anything you were going to meet. And here we go. Tech K moving across, and we've got perfect shots on the side of his tank. Move forward, expose myself. Bit of a risk, but whoop, and it was a lot of risk. I just got hit by a Panzer Jagdtiger 1, and he is unseen. Don't know where he is, so he must be back a fair bit further. I don't want to risk taking any more shots from him. Now, here's one tactic I like to use with this tank for peekaboo, is to actually back out. Since it's got a rear-mounted turret, I just did track damage, that's all to that medium then. Because it's got a rear-mounted turret, I can back out from behind cover and expose less of my tank. As you can see, very quick aiming time and loading time. Not the most accurate tank in the world, but it does have a quick aiming time. So you can just peek out, aim more quickly than they can, fire a shot, and then pop back again. And I do recommend using the back of your tank to do that in this one. Decided to have a go at that tuner at the back there. He's on low health. I thought maybe we can get rid of him. Someone else manages to nail him, so we'll go back to this medium. As you can see, he's having trouble hitting me because he's not getting enough time to aim, and plus he probably can't see me until after I shoot because of the bushes I've got here. We get another shot into him. This time we'll go for the M2. We get him. Try and get rid of that M2, and we do. Now we'll go back to this medium if we can. He's actually having shots at me now, but I've got such a small part of my tank exposed he can't hit me. And someone else grabs the kill. So there's the Panzer that hit us before, the Jagdtiger 1. So we'll see if we can get a shot on him, and he's not visible from here, so he must be behind some rocks on the side there. So we'll try and get a better angle. As you can see, accelerates really well this thing. Okay, now we have a shot. And there's a bush between him and us, so he can't see us anyway. And someone else managed to get the kill once again. So this time I decide to go up top, because I can see there are some other tanks near our cap or heading towards our cap, so I just want to see if I can shoot them from up here. And we can see one over there, so T46 heading towards our cap. He's disappeared now though, unfortunately, so I can't get a shot. And someone is actually on cap. So there's 3 of us driving up here. I'm debating whether to move on to cap. I just don't think there's any possible way I can get there in time. The Chinese going there, so I'm just hoping maybe he can get there and reset cap. Or if he can spot, I can shoot from here, but I really don't think he's even going to get there in time for me to spot. Cruiser's going there as well, but he's just tracked himself. I see his T-40, he's decided to go here and have a couple of shots, because 42% capped, I'm not going to get there in time. The T-46, someone else nails it anyway, but there's a T2 medium, our equivalent, just over here, so we'll see how we go against another T2. I see this dead tank and decide to use it for cover. And so I stop before the dead tank, have a shot, and then move, I thought, behind the dead tank to have a second shot, but someone else is shooting me, so we managed to eliminate him, and it's this TK here, he's been shooting me, so I aim at him now move to get a bit more cover from the tank, and the game ends. Okay, so it was a defeat. Time just ran out, they capped. I think we probably would have killed that TK though, we were utilising the cover quite well there. Now, you can see at, against other tier 2s and some tier 3s, the top gun is still pretty effective. And the peekaboo tactics are far better. Utilising cover is far better than being out in the open this tank. Because even though its armor is actually not too bad, it just can't really take many hits from anybody who's got a decent gun. So, yeah, we hit a lot of tanks. Not a bad game. And we can see that we finished on top on our team for experience and on top for damage as well. In fact, if I look at that, we finished on top for damage on both teams. So 454 here and 459 there, and we did 606. So yeah. Okay, next screen. So we fired 20 shots, of which 16 hit, which is pretty good. And of the 16 that hit, 15 penetrated. So not bad. When you consider my crew skills, my crew was in that game probably about 77% or something like that. Yeah, the accuracy, loading time, all that sort of stuff, aim time would improve once they get fully trained. So that's pretty good. Of the 4 hits we received, all 4 of them penetrated. So once again, I'm saying the armor isn't really that good, even though it's better than the other mediums. We spotted 1. We damaged 7 tanks, destroying 2 of them. A little tiny bit of assistance damage, and 12,000 less 1,000 or so. We would have probably still made about 11,000, which is pretty good. Now that was 337 for XP, and that got us a class 2. I'm pretty sure if this had been a win, we would have got our mastery badge. I've got about 500 XP in this tank before, which was a class 1. I think it was 498. I think I got for class 1. So I'm guessing. Probably about 550 is a mastery in this tank. Alright. Thank you for watching my review of the American T2 medium tank. If you liked the review, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.